Today we're looking at Diamine Lavender. Hi, I'm Adam and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Now Diamine Lavender, as you would expect, is a purple or violet, also called lavender, ink. To make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples. I then put the ink into a different pen for a day. I then put it into a nib-assigned Singularity with a fine nib to take my notes for this video. Now before we look at the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is a chromatography, and I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down and immediately put it into water for 10 to 15 seconds. What we see is there is a slight line where it looks like it's holding on a little bit, but it pushes up as a very light purple. It gets darker as it works up. This is not a mixed purple, but a purple dye itself. The one on the right, I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. Now the line is not so obvious, and the purple as it's pushing up is much darker. The ink is slowing down as it's moving up, but nothing's staying and showing that line of permanence that you get used to seeing when looking at chromatographies. Makes me feel like there's not going to be a lot of resistance for this ink. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it might be to clean from your pens. I let the smear dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, this ink does not like having anything put back over it. Everything did spread out, which is normal, but it feathered all over grossly. In the lowercase h, you could start losing important notes if you used this, and so I would avoid it in a note-taking situation if you use highlighter. Water reactivates and lifts all of the darker tones off of the paper, but leaving some of the lighter tones, which makes me feel it needs a little bit more. Now, Pen Flush did everything water did and more. You see an entire area where the white of the paper is coming through, and you can start to see some of the dots of the dot pad, making Pen Flush all you should need to clean this from your pen. Bleach, as you would expect, kills it. Don't use the bleach solution to get this out of a pen. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average viscosity of 2.5, with a realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine Lavender has a viscosity of 2.36, making it normal. A lower side of normal, but still normal. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done with the extra fine and medium nib on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper. For the inks I've tested, I've found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with a realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine Lavender has an average dry time of 20 seconds, so it's the very high side of normal, but still normal. Now, let's look at the writing samples. I picked this ink up in sample form, and to keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium, and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Let's take a look at Clairefontaine. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, no spread, no halo, no sheen, no shade. It's a neat looking purple. It gets a little lighter when we go to extra fine. The extra fine gives us no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 14 seconds to dry. It becomes a little darker again when we go to the medium. The medium gives no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade, 20 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. Tomoe River. Tomoe River gives no bleeding. We get ghosting. It's Tomoe River. The 1.1, still, what a nice looking purple. You like purples, you should try this. It doesn't have a lot of qualities about it, but the color is really neat. It's a great looking purple. This is a standout, vibrant, to me, purple. The 1.1, no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, but look at it. Just nice. Such a great, ooh, look at that purple. The extra fine, a noticeably lighter tone with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 22 seconds to dry. And if you like purple inks, that is so worth it.
The medium gets that darker tone of the 1.1 again, and it's not dark where you lose that it's purple. It is a dark, rich purple right here with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 28 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. The smear test, you couldn't recover it. Don't worry about it. Rhodia, no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 is no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. And it's still got that beautiful, rich purple there that is dark and purple, not dark and is that kind of black? Not at all. The extra fine is a lighter tone, easily a lighter tone, with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. It took 16 seconds to dry. Just trying to get some of the ink off my hand. Got so much. The medium became a noticeably darker tone, not as dark as we had with the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. It took 21 seconds to dry. Beautiful tone of purple here. I know it says lavender. It's a kind of purple. Correct me by all means in the comments. 21 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. The smear test, you could likely recover it. So what happens when we put this to a yellow background paper, like the yellow Rhodia? It gives us no bleeding, no ghosting. We didn't expect it because it is still Rhodia paper. Now that becomes a little darker with the 1.1, a little darker with the extra fine. The same. And the purple pops. It's got like a pop. It is more vibrant a purple here than it is here. Let's look at it. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen. It has no shade. It's a great color. It's a little too dark on the yellow toned paper for me. The extra fine, a lighter tone than we got with the 1.1 with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 16 seconds to dry. Great tone, but the medium, the tone of the medium really is beautiful. No feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 21 seconds to dry. The color here is amazing. If you write on yellow paper all the time and you can get away with purple ink, this is a go-to. The scrubby for both the extra fine and the medium shows no color variation. We weren't expecting it. We didn't get it. The smear test, you could recover this if you smeared while you were writing. Limon paper. Yes, we get bleeding all over the place. Even spots coming through with the extra fine. It does not touch the page underneath. It does make the back of the page unusable. The ghosting doesn't even matter for how much has come through. The 1.1 has spread, has crazy, ugly feathers all over. Parts of the word look blurry. It's gross. No halo, no sheen, no shade. Extra fine. It has feathering. We see feathering all over in the 9. We see it all over in the seconds, all over in over, all over in quick. Tiny feathering all over the place. Don't use this ink on this paper. Matter of fact, you might have to avoid this paper. The only reason I'm still using this paper is because I'm going to use that book up and then it's going to be gone. No halo, no sheen, no shade, 9 seconds to dry. The medium, it has spread. It has disgusting feathers all over the place. No halo, no sheen, no shade, 13 seconds to dry. I'm trying to get away from the paper. The scrubby has no color variation. We got no color variation. And the smear test, you could recover it if you smeared. So we recover by using black and red notebook paper. Black and red notebook paper, it has no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, no spread, no halo, sheen, or shade. And the color's not as nice here. Not in the 1.1. It's just, Doesn't make me think anything about it. The extra fine, the color gets much nicer. The tone gets much lighter. It has no feather spread, no halo, no sheen, and no shade. 11 seconds to dry. Medium is where the great tone of this ink comes back. No feather spread, halo, sheen, no shade, but the tone is beautiful. 15 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both shows no color variation. We weren't expecting color variation. We didn't get color variation. The smear test, you could likely recover it if you smeared while you were writing, and that is all that I have for the writing
Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine's Lavender, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. Now, I was really thinking towards a brown, but I wanted to be able to blend it together some, and I went with a nice red-brown Robert Oster's Copper. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of Diamine's Lavender? I think as a purple, if you like purple inks, this is one you should try. It is very interesting to look at. And you get very different tones of this purple depending on the nib size and flow of the pen. Very nice. Thanks for watching.